Happy Monday to everyone, and I thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope everybody had a lovely weekend. I don't know where everybody's located, but here in Ohio, we got snow. And I must admit, it was beautiful as it was coming down, but I didn't trek myself out there to go into it. I stayed in my house and I looked out my window to verify that it looked good, but I didn't go out there. So I was a little bit of a chicken there. I didn't want to deal with shoveling snow and all that good stuff. I'll leave that to my husband. Let's go ahead and jump right into why you guys are here today. And we're going to go into Motivation Monday. Now, this is one of those quotes that I absolutely love. I'm sure you guys have heard it before. It's pretty popular, but it's just so relevant to what we do. And this quote comes from Michael Jordan, and I don't need to introduce Michael Jordan to anyone, I don't think. He's pretty well known as one of the best, and that's controversial, basketball players out there. So what he said is, I missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Now, guys, the reason why I like this quote from Michael Jordan so much, because I like to think of this as the power of failure. Think about it, guys. If you are not failing from time to time, you're not pushing yourself. And if everything in life is within our grasp, where is the motivation to push yourself? It's really important to know that failure is not always an absolute loss. Many times, failure is a win in order for us to become better. So just wanted to share this quote with you, just to remind you as you're making your calls, as you are talking to individuals, and in sales, we get a lot of rejection. And a lot of times that rejection is not personal. That rejection is just that person isn't interested in that for that day. And it might not be because they're not interested at all. It could be something else more pressing is going on. It could be almost a number of things, but when we fail, we truly do learn as long as we don't give up. The failure is when we actually give up. So my words to you today is to never, ever give up. And then you can become the Michael Jordan of selling insurance. So all right, guys, welcome again, my friends, to Motivational Monday. Like I said, I'm so happy that you guys are here with me. As always, we're going to go over the tips for the week. Unfortunately, we will not be doing the sales shout outs this week. The numbers weren't available to me, so I was not able to get that out, but I will ask the person who does Motivational Monday next week to make sure that they cover this week's sales and shout outs. So you'll get it next week, and I do apologize for that inconvenience. And as always, our sales topic that we're going to have for this week is how to write the ultimate sales script. And that's a little tricky thing to say because ultimate is a pretty powerful word. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So let's first talk about our tips for the week. And last week, I did talk to you guys about this fantastic trip to Cabo St. Lucas that Allstate is putting on. I just want to remind you because it's still here, and I'm going to continue to remind you because I want you guys to make it there. And it is actually going from now through the 15th of January, 2024. And in order to qualify, you only need to be the top 50 agents with more than $600,000 in credited AIP. Now, how do you get that credited AIP? All you have to do is all you have to really do is sell supplementals as well as short-term medical PPO plans and short-term medical traditional plans are the older plan, the short-term medical plan. So if you sell one, you earn one. If you earn one AP, you will earn one AIP with the issue of an application of a short-term medical or a short-term medical PPO, and you earn twice that amount if you sell any of the products below that is available to your clients as supplemental products. So make sure that when you're talking to your customers, you are bundling, because you're going to earn double AIP. And that's really important, but it's also important because all those supplements are really important products for our customers to have. So remember, guys, this contest is going on now through the 15th of January, 2024, and you and a loved one can be in St. Lucas. So try and plan for that. The next thing I'm going to show you is another trip. This is someplace else I've been before, and it's wonderful. So I'm giving you personal testimonies here, guys. I'm telling you that these trips are absolutely fabulous because they're fabulous places. And it looks like United Health here is taking their 30 top brokers to Playa del Carmen. And Playa del Carmen is a beautiful and fun place to go to. I mean, I haven't been to many places in Mexico that wasn't fun and didn't have delicious food. So if you want to be one of these 30 individuals going on this trip and you are able to bring a guest with you, please make sure you go out on the AHCP website to make sure that you look at all of the rules and regulations. There are quite a few things that you need to be aware of in order to qualify for this trip. Now, this trip has started, or it did start, November 1st, 2022. So things you did in open enrollment is going to include, and it's going through March 1st, 2023. So you still have time to get your name in the bucket here so that you can try and win. And I did fail to say, guys, this trip is for 4 days, 3 nights in Playa del Carmen, and that is absolutely fabulous. So try and plan for that. Maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones. And if you do, please put a good word in for me, because I really would love to go back. It's been a long time since I've been there. Next, we're going to talk about how to write the ultimate sales script. I know you guys have heard before, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. Well, in my experience in selling, it's a combination of both. It's not only what you say, it's also how you say it. Really, a sales script is really a great way, and it's really a written guide that helps you when you are interacting with your customers. Sales scripts also helps in many forms because they give you detailed word-for-word conversations as an opener when you're talking to your customers, as well as talking key points. Sometimes when we're talking to customers, things happen like we get tripped over our words. Sometimes we have people on the phone that want to take over the conversation, and we really need to make sure we stay on point. Sales scripts will give you that, what word am I looking for? making sure that you're structured in how you are communicating with your customers. And there are many ways that you can deliver it. Some people like to deliver their sales scripts just by having a complete script. And then there are other people who like to have their sales scripts just by having bullet points. There are no wrong or right ways in order to have a sales script. I just think it's really important when you are talking to your clients, especially if you're newer. And when I say newer, I'm saying 3 years or less in the business. I think it's really helpful to have something available to you. And sometimes it's multiple sales scripts that is available to you so that you can make sure that you know what you want to say, how you want to say it, and when you want to say it. Okay, guys. So, we definitely don't want to be this guy. We want to do better than how this poor guy is presenting. Unfortunately, he clearly has lost his audience. All sales agents know that consumers aren't carbon copies of one another. Different people require different sales tactics. So agents should cultivate their ability to really flip the script in what they say at a drop of a dime in order to be able to keep our customers interested. However, in every interactions with your customers and clients, you must consistently and accurately convey what it is that you are suggesting to your customers, as well as the benefits that are available to them. A good sales script, that is exactly what it does. So when we're talking to our customers, make sure that we're paying attention to how we are really keeping their attention in what we're saying, and how we can sometimes change what we say in order to keep their attention. So let's get a little bit into actually writing a sales script. So when writing a sales script, it's really important to determine your objective. And what I mean by your objective is, what are you trying to accomplish? I have really heard agents, and it's really sad when I hear it. I've heard agents do pitches, and sometimes when I'm listening to them and I'm coaching them, I can't tell whether or not if they're trying to go for an appointment or an instant sale, or if they're just trying to build rapport, because it's not really clear. And I think a lot of times it's not clear with them either. So some things that you want to make sure you do is that you want to make sure that you are determining your objective. And your objective, is it going to be to make the sale? Are you trying to schedule an appointment to build relationships with new leads? Are you trying to renew a plan, or are you trying to get referrals or do an upsell? Your objections that you create is going to help you to stay focused during that conversation. So when actually writing a script, we want to make sure the first thing that we are doing is that we're being direct and straightforward about what we want to say. We want to introduce ourselves, and we want to talk about where we're coming from. One of the things that, or not where we're coming from, where we come from. The reason why I say that is because many times when we're talking to our clients, we don't properly introduce ourselves. So as we're going through our pitch, our clients aren't necessarily paying attention to what we're saying. They're trying to figure out who the heck we are. So don't let that be a mishap. Get this out of the way, be direct. And when you do this, be confident and be enthusiastic and be genuine, so that your prospect can really believe that you are the person that can help them. So here is an example of an introductory script that you can use when calling someone for the first time. Now, here is how it goes. Hi, Mr. Customer, and I usually use first name. So hi, John, this is Lisa with XYZ Company. I'm an independent health insurance consultant, and I work directly with individuals just like yourself who are paying way too much for health insurance, or just they're not happy with their current health insurance? Does that sound like a situation that you're dealing with? Or are you currently covered? Do you currently have coverage with anyone? So this is just a really brief introduction. And in the end, I'm going to connect all the dots. In this particular script, I want you to pay attention not only to what I say, but how I say it. If you notice it that I said I work directly with individuals like yourself that are paying way too much. So I put a little bit of emphasis on way too much to get their interest and their attention. If I don't do that, it just doesn't come across the same. So that's one example that we have when it comes to making cold calls. I gave you a few examples for cold calls because cold calls are probably, the introductions are probably the ones that are the most difficult because that's where we're getting hung up on. So here's a couple of more plain, just simple, straight to the point type of introductions. Hi, this is Lisa. I'm with XYZ Company. I'm reaching out because I see a while back you were shopping for health insurance and we weren't able to help you at the time. And that's really unfortunate. But we do have some new plans available in your area. And I just want to follow up with you on those plans. Do you currently have coverage now? And then I go on with the conversation there, and we'll learn about that, the scripts for those conversations in a minute. Then the next one that I have here is, hi, Mr. Customer, this is Lisa. I'm calling from XYZ. I received your information because you were shopping online for health insurance. I am the consultant assigned to you to see what I can do to help you. Do you currently have coverage, or are you shopping for yourself or for your family? So these are a couple of different introductory scripts that you can use. And I got to admit, these aren't scripts necessarily from me. I might have tweaked them, but I get my scripts from listening to others. I listen to what people say and I pull what I like from what they say, and that is what I use. I encourage all of you guys to actually do the same, because the important thing about making a script is make it your own. It's very important to make it your own. The next thing we want to do is we want to position your recommendation to meet the client's needs. So this is when you identify how your product can meet the pain points that your person that you're dealing with is experiencing. This is where agents also show that they understand their prospects' challenges and have experience in solving those problems that they are having. So get in the habit really of saying, and it also, what I'm going to show you, it also gets the script I'm going to show you, also gets them in the habit of saying yes during parts of the presentation. And that's important. I'll explain that in a minute. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. Mr. Customer, if we found a plan that fits your needs and budgets while providing the coverage you need, you would probably want that, right? And that's that assumptive thing, and we want to get them to say yes. And it would only be no as if they absolutely don't need it, and then in that case, you need to move on. Some of these plans you can't just get. You need to see if you can qualify. So I need to ask you some nosy questions in order to see if I can get you qualified. Is that okay? We're looking for that, yes. Now, in that particular statement right there, what I'm doing is I'm getting ahead of the objections. There are common objections that you will have when you're talking to your clients. If you can get ahead of those objections and address them before they become objections, then it doesn't become this tit for tat with you and your client. So just get right ahead of it, bring it up, and move on. That's what I say to you guys. Bring it up and move on. Continuing with this script, The next thing you want to do is build rapport and remove the pressure to buy. So some people think that building rapport is all about long conversations and getting the perspective to like you. And of course, we do want to get our perspectives to like you because people buy from who they like. But for some prospects, if I've been saying perspectives, that's just weird. Please forgive me. For some prospects, especially like our older clients who like to talk. I know my older clients used to want to tell me everything about their children, their family, their grandchildren, something that they recently bought before we get started. And that's okay. We need to appease those customers. But in general, people want to get to business. They want you to get to the point, and they want you to see how you're able to help them with their problem. But in general, what we want to do is make sure we're building rapport quickly so that we aren't keeping them on the phone for a long time. And we want to remove that pressure to buy. So here is what I mean when I say that. So just one more thing, Mr. Customer, if I don't come back with the plan you were expecting, do you feel comfortable telling me no? Now, I like this a lot because this is where I'm taking the pressure off my customer to say yes. I also take the pressure off of them feeling like I'm this pushy salesperson or that they need to buy. I'm saying, if I don't give you what you want, Mr. Customer, then are you okay with telling me no? Because I'm okay with you telling me no, and I really need to hear you tell me no. Once again, I'm getting this yes, and that's what I want. The more yeses you get, they sort of get in the habit of saying yes, and when you go to ask for the business, they're going to say yes. So great, Mr. Customer. Now I'm going to go right into my fact-finding questions. So tell me, what is your budget for this particular plan? And then from there, I'm going to ask continuing questions to find out exactly what their pain point is. So in a second, all of this is going to make sense because I'm going to bring it all home. But I want you to see that when coming up with a script, it's not one paragraph necessarily that you're trying to come up with. It is a conversation. You have an opening, you have a positioning, you have a building of rapport and creating comfortability with your customer, and then you have your closing. So the next thing we're going to talk about is ask questions to maintain control. And for understanding. So during this, I don't know if you noticed that during everything that I've been saying, I have been asking questions. And usually I end everything I say with a question. This is my way of creating control for me. Because if I'm asking questions, I'm leaving less time for them to sit there and say, well, is this really that good for me? Or should I be considering this? And then they're starting to ask me all these hard questions. And now it's this defensive mode that I have to take. So instead of being defensive, I am being someone who's bringing things up before, and I'm asking the questions before they actually do it, which makes me in control of the conversation. So use questions to stay in control of the conversation. You will be surprised at how people will just naturally answer your questions. Now, I'm not saying everybody. You'll have some of those people that I'm not interested, I'm not interested, I'm not interested. And my usually response to that is, you're not interested in what? I haven't sold you anything. But in those, most of the times, people don't react to asking you questions. So what does this look like? So if you notice, when even in my introduction at the very beginning, a lot of salespeople, they just are trying to build rapport. How is your day going? You throw that stuff out because that isn't needed. In my introduction, I told who I was, how I can benefit them, and then I started asking them questions. If you notice, the questions that I asked was, does that sound like your situation? Or who is your current coverage with? Do you currently have coverage? Are you shopping for yourself or for your family? Some of these questions really help me with determining the next steps that I need to go in when it comes to positioning myself for a recommendation. And some of them, I'm just asking questions that pertains to health insurance and pertains to their needs so that I can stay in control of the situation. The next thing is to close by reviewing the benefits and coverage. Sorry about that. Next, close by reviewing the benefits and establish a call to action. So what I mean by that, here is a policy presentation that we have that I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to give you the gist of it. So this is something I would say at the close of a presentation. Based on the information you have provided to me, Mr. Customer, you may qualify for a plan with our preferred carrier, XYZ. Have you ever heard of this carrier? This plan uses the Aetna Open Choice PPO and has a $50 copay for doctors and specialists visits and only a $75 copay for urgent care visits. Your plan has a $5,000 deductible and a $100,000 coinsurance. That means that once your deductible is paid, you're covered. Medical expenses will be paid at 100%. Are you familiar with the deductible and the coinsurance? And then I'm going into, after that, the other things that I want, the supplements that I want to sell to my customers. So, but what I want you to see in this presentation is I'm going right in with the facts, but then I'm also asking them questions to make sure that they understand. So with all of that, let's put all of this together to see how it sounds. So, and this is bringing everything I just said to you into fruition. Hi, Mr. Customer. I'm sorry. Hi, is Mr. Johnson there or is Sam there? This is Lisa and I'm calling you from XYZ Company. I was calling about the inquiry you made regarding your health insurance. Is this for you or for your family? What has you been looking for in health insurance? Okay, perfect. I'm a broker and I have access to hundreds of plans. I need to ask you a couple of nosy questions so that I can see which direction is best. Do you smoke? Do you take medication? When is the last time you had medical insurance? Depending on the way I build this plan for you, it could range in price drastically. So explain to me, what is a budget you feel comfortable spending each month on health insurance? Now that I got all of the boring questions out of the way, I'll pull a couple of plans together. The first plan I'm going to talk to you about is a PPO plan. Do you know the difference between an HMO and a PPO? Now I want to explain that to them because there is a major difference. Okay, well, the plan uses the XYZ PPO plan and has a $50 copay for doctors and specialists and a $75 copay for urgent care. And then I go a little bit deeper. Does this make sense to you? It also has telemedicine. Are you familiar with telemedicine? Once again, staying in control of the conversation and asking questions to verify understanding. This plan has a $5,000 deductible and a 100% coinsurance. Do you know what the deductible and coinsurance are and how it works with your plan? I want to make sure they know what they're buying. So this plan is coming to XYZ per month. But Mr. Customer, I have also included some things that can help you pay for that deductible and maximum out-of-pocket expenses in the event of an unexpected illness of some sort. Your plan will include a rider that has a $50,000 benefit in the event of a first-time diagnosis of one of 15 critical illnesses, such as cancer, heart attack, stroke, paralysis, kidney failure, and a few other things. This means that your $5,000 deductible will be covered in the event of a critical illness. And because you have a $100,000 coinsurance, your short-term medical will pick up the rest of the cost of any additional covered medical expenses. That will leave you with $45,000 to cover any unexpected expenses or to take a well-deserved vacation once you are all better. And although we never want to think about death, unfortunately, it is a part of life. If the unimaginable happens, your family is protected. The plan also has a term life benefit equal to the critical illness benefit amount less any payout. Let's see if we can get you approved. What payment date would you like? So here, what I'm doing is I've spelled out all the benefits. I've given them the proposal that I'm suggesting for them. I'm being assumptive that they're going to want it by saying, let's see if we can go ahead and get started. And then I go back into with the question, what payment date would you like? If I was to stop at, let's see if we can get you approved, I guarantee you're going to get objections. You're going to get questions after questions after questions after questions. Really, what you want to do is go right into that, to the what payment date would you like? And then the questions will eventually come as you're going through the process. So it's not like I'm not suggesting that you don't answer your client's questions, because that's really, really important. I'm just saying position it in a way that you are in control of the conversation. All right. So when we're talking about building a script, it's not just the one hit wonder. It's not just one thing. It is multiple stages of the conversation, and it's really important to be prepared for each one of those stages. And today, I hope I help you to see a different way to make that happen. So that is going to do it for us today when it comes to Motivational Monday. As always, if you have any questions, you can reach us at training@AHCP Sales, or you can call the Agent Service Help Desk at the number provided. If you would like to watch this again or any of our AHCP videos, you can follow the website that is listed on YouTube on your screen right now, and you can view those videos. Otherwise, everyone, have a fabulous day. And again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.